welcome back to the podcast. Now, if you're someone who's looking to drop body fat, get lean, build muscle, have more energy, think more clearly, hydration is not something that should be overlooked because it plays a massive role in each one of those. So, in today's podcast, we're going to cover first, why hydration is massively underrated, second, how to actually assess whether you're hydrated or not, third, how to become optimally hydrated, and then lastly, how to hydrate around your workouts to maximize your performance and recovery. So, why is hydration underrated but absolutely critical for performance, you may ask? Well, when we think of performance, we tend to focus on obviously the training. We got the macros, we got supplements, maybe sleep comes to mind. But one thing that could very well hold us back is being dehydrated. The effort you're putting into all the things I just mentioned is not wasted, but if you're dehydrated, you're actively holding yourself back. Think of it like driving a super nice car. You want to fly. Let's say you have an open freeway, you're in a Lambo, so you're flooring the gas, but your other foot is just sitting there tapping the brake. For example, at just a 0.5% body water loss, your heart starts to work harder. That means your heart rate increases and even low intensity tasks start to feel harder, way harder than they should. At 1% water loss, your aerobic fitness takes a hit. At 3% water loss, your muscular endurance starts to decline, meaning those high rep sets or grinding through a long workout become much more difficult. By the time you hit a 4% water loss, you'll notice a drop in strength and coordination. And these numbers matter because even a small shift in hydration can be like having your other foot just sitting there tapping on that brake when you're trying to fly. And it's not just physical. Hydration equally affects your mental performance, which I think is equally as important. Cognitive function like focus, decision making, reaction time, they all take a hit when you're dehydrated. In fact, there's actually studies that have shown dehydration can impair accuracy, like a basketball player missing a free throw or a powerlifter misgrooving a bench press. So even if you're nailing your training, your nutrition, your sleep, your body simply can't perform or recover if you're not optimally hydrated. And just to break it down a bit further, if you're someone focused on a physique goal, maybe a body transformation, this is highly relevant because muscles are about 75% water. So dehydration directly impacts their ability to contract and recover. Hydration also influences glycogen storage, cellular repair, and hormonal balance. So right now, if you're sitting there, you're thinking, well, shit, that's quite important. And if you're thinking right now, I'm fine, I drink a ton of water, well, it's not just about how much water you're drinking. It's about the balance between water and electrolytes. Drinking too much water without adequate electrolytes can dilute your sodium levels, leading to something called hyponatremia, which can actually be very dangerous. So that's great. How do we go about assessing your hydration levels? So where am I at? Well, the easiest way is start by paying attention to your urine color. If it's pale yellow, you're hydrated. If it's dark yellow, you're likely dehydrated. And if it's completely clear, you might actually be overhydrated, which can also throw off your electrolyte balance. Another way is monitoring how often you're going to the bathroom. Ideally, you should be going about 7 to 9 times a day. If you're going way more than that, you might be overdoing it. If less, you probably need to up your water intake. Another simple practical tip is to observe your thirst levels first thing in the morning after you wake up. If you're waking up with a dry mouth or feeling parched, that could be an indication that you're dehydrated or that you were mouth breathing throughout the night, which is also a huge no-no, so I'd get on that. And lastly, pay attention to cramps. Cramping during a workout, I've had some seriously painful cramps doing seated calf raises in my day. Uh, those used to get me all the time and usually indicated an electrolyte issue, so your sodium and potassium. But if you're cramping away from your training, let's say we've been there, say at night, lying down, all of a sudden your hamstring seizes up, which is brutal. That is almost always a magnesium deficiency. So now if we combine paying attention to your urine color, you're aiming for light yellow, going to the washroom 7 to 9 times a day, looking out for a dry mouth or like that parched feeling when you wake up, and then you're paying attention to how often you're cramping, if you are, you can get a pretty clear picture of your hydration status and if you need to make adjustments, which will then get you next. And then, of course, if you get your blood work done, which I'd highly recommend, if you do your yearly physical, when your doctor does it, you can calculate your serum osmolarity on MD Calc, and that is the gold standard hydration calculation for your hydration status. So black and white, it'll tell you if you're hydrated, if you're not. Now, how can we achieve optimal hydration status so we can get all the benefits and avoid all the negatives I just spoken about? Well, it's by giving your body exactly what it needs to stay in balance, hydrating with the right amount of fluids, electrolytes, and properly hydrating during training. So I'm going to give you an example. For myself, I like to begin my day with 16 to 20 ounces of water as soon as I wake up, along with a pack of Element or 2 grams of Celtic or Baja Gold salt, which I've actually seen some regarding the Celtic salt. I've seen something regarding the heavy metal content in there, so I'd be aware of that. So I'd probably go Baja Gold salt, or you could go pink salt. But Baja Gold does give you a little bit of a wider range of minerals as well. But you don't even need to use a hydration pack if you don't want to, even though I honestly would prefer, because it can give you a better formulation of electrolytes. So throughout the day, a great baseline for hydration is to drink half an ounce of water per pound of body weight. For example, if you weigh 180 pounds, I'd aim for 90 ounces of water throughout the day. And I'd keep in mind that this baseline doesn't include the additional fluids needed for exercise, which we'll cover in a sec, or if you're living in a hotter climate. So when it comes to electrolytes, though, sodium, important for muscle contraction, potassium, important for muscle relaxation, and what is really important is magnesium, because let's take someone who has optimal sodium and potassium, so contraction and relaxation are on point, but magnesium actually determines intracellular and the extracellular concentration. So you could have perfect sodium and potassium, but if you have low magnesium, then you have no bouncer at the door within the cell to govern the intra and extracellular concentration. Magnesium is something that a lot of people, astonishing amount of people, are deficient in. And on top of that, we've seen in the research that athletes or highly active people in general need up to 50% more magnesium than general population people. And even the RDA, it's probably quite low for most people. So, and this is important because when you sweat, you're losing electrolytes and magnesium. And on top of this, you'll know if you watch any of my other podcasts that I'm big on health because it basically governs your performance in a way. And this is a perfect example. So, magnesium is required for a process known as glycolysis, which sounds all fancy, but that's just the ability to convert carbs into anaerobic energy, getting glucose from the bloodstream into the muscle cell to then be converted into ATP for energy. When you get glucose from the bloodstream and bring it into a muscle cell, that cell wall requires magnesium. Then downstream, magnesium also lowers blood sugar, and that's going to lower inflammation. So with more magnesium, we're regulating sodium and potassium status, not to mention I'm not low in magnesium, which would lead to me inhibiting glycolysis. And if that was the case, I could have really low energy in the gym. I may think I need more carbs, but in reality, I'm running out of gas in the gym because of my magnesium status. Had nothing to do with water, nothing to do with intra-workout carbs, nothing to do with my sleep last night, none of that. So it was down to my magnesium status. So when it comes to making sure we have enough magnesium, I like to personally and have all my clients supplement with magnesium before bed because it also improves sleep quality. And 400 milligrams for men, 300 milligrams for women will have so many positive functions for your health, performance, energy, everything. So now we're drinking half an ounce of water per pound of body weight, supplementing with magnesium. Now, when it comes to your electrolyte intake, which you can get from foods like bananas, leafy greens, avocados, meats, you can supplement with things like electrolyte powders or use pink salt or a combination. But a general recommendation would be at least 3 to 5 grams of sodium per day, and around the minimum, the RDA for potassium is 4,700 milligrams per day. With that said, when you exercise, you lose water and electrolytes through sweat. And we went over the negative consequences towards performance when we become dehydrated. So to stay hydrated, I like to follow the Galpin equation. So I like to take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 30, and that's how many ounces of water to drink every 15 to 20 minutes during your workout. For example, if you weigh 180 pounds, aim for 6 ounces of water every 15 to 20 minutes. Now, in your intra, I'd also add electrolyte powder as well, sodium, potassium, magnesium. Sodium, again, driving muscular contraction, potassium driving muscular relaxation, and then magnesium regulating intracellular and extracellular concentrations of both of those. And then I'd also, why not, throw in 5 to 10 grams of glutamine because it enhances the electrolyte uptake and absorption. And if you really want to maximize your performance as well, I'd add in a carbohydrate powder because that will also contribute to carbohydrate, hydration, and has many benefits for your performance if your macros allow for it, which honestly, even if you're on a lower end of a diet right now, I'd still allocate some carbs to that intra-workout. And this will be some type of fast digestion carb like highly branched cyclic dextrin, maltodextrin, Momentous makes a good one. Carbolin is another one. There's a ton of brands out there that have good carb powders. Now, post workout to rehydrate, if you're up for it, this is quite extreme. I personally don't do this, but you, the more power to you if you want. You can weigh yourself before and after your session to calculate actually how much water you lost. And then for every pound lost, you can drink 1.5 times that amount in water. So, for example, if you lose 2 pounds during a workout, you'll need to drink 3 pounds or about 1.5 liters of water and add a pinch of salt or a quality electrolyte supplement to restore sodium and other minerals lost through sweat as well. And to add to your hydration status, hydrating foods are great, like watermelon, my favorite, cucumbers, oranges, which will all contribute to your hydration status at the same time providing a good amount of micronutrients too. So that is a wrap. I know, very quick pod. I just wanted to get super actionable with this one so you can now know how to assess your hydration, how to hydrate throughout the day. You know your targets you got to hit. During your workout, you could take it to the next level with weighing yourself and all that. If you want to, more power to you, like I said. And then that will not only allow you to see an increase in your performance and recovery, but also feel, think sharper, stay on top of your game in really every area of your life. So hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. If you're watching this on YouTube, appreciate a subscribe, maybe a like. And if you want free 30 days of advice, actionable steps, tips delivered straight to your inbox that will help you transform your physique, health, and performance, all completely free, you can click the first link in the description. Peace.